The syndicate boss, known only as Valerius, moved through the opulent halls of the Gateway Space Station's VIP sector like a shark in a gilded aquarium. His bespoke suit, woven with light-dampening fibers, absorbed the glares from lesser beings. He was here to close a deal, a simple exchange of a rare isotope for a king's ransom in untraceable credits. But something felt wrong. The air was too still, the smiles of the station's security droids too placid. His gut, an organ that had kept him alive longer than any army, screamed a single word: trap. He stopped before a set of blast doors, the designated meeting point. "Kale," he spoke into a discreet communicator embedded in his cuff. "Report." "Silence on the scanner, boss," came the reply, a low, gravelly voice that belonged to his bodyguard, the kinetic warrior. Kale was a mountain of a man, a veteran of the corporate wars whose body was a canvas of subdermal plating and kinetic dampeners. He could absorb the impact of a speeding speeder and feel nothing more than a slight shove. But the air currents are wrong. There's a pressure differential behind the door. A bomb. Valerius didn't flinch. "Disarm it. Our clients are waiting." He wasn't asking. He was stating a fact of his universe. Problems like Kale existed to be solved. Kale stepped forward, his heavy boots making no sound on the plush carpet. He placed a massive hand on the blast door's control panel. The bomb wasn't on the door, it was wired through it. A sophisticated pressure plate connected to a series of microcharges designed to turn the corridor into a plasma-filled furnace. The trigger wasn't the door opening, it was the pressure equalization. The moment the door slid open, the bomb would detonate. "It's a cascade device," Kale grunted, his eyes scanning the energy readings through his tactical HUD. "The trigger is tied to the life support. If I try to cut the power, it shorts the detonator. If I try to breach the casing, it triggers a secondary chemical explosive. It's elegant." "Elegant is for poets," Valerius hissed. "Break it." Kale nodded. He didn't use tools. He was the tool. He focused, his subdermal plating humming with a low, resonant frequency. He was drawing in the kinetic energy of the station itself, the vibration of the FTL drive, the thrum of the life support, the footfalls of 1,000 souls a kilometer away. He drew it all in, storing it within the capacitors woven into his very bones. He then placed his other hand flat against the wall next to the door. "The core is a liquid explosive. Very sensitive to vibration. I can't just smash it." "So don't," Valerius said, his patience wearing thin. "Think." Kale's eyes narrowed. The trap wasn't just the bomb. It was the logic. It was designed to counter every conventional approach. Breach, cut, disable, all roads led to vapor. But there was one variable the bomb's creator hadn't counted on. A force that could interact with the device without touching it. A force that could create a counterwave so precise it could negate the bomb's own sensitive chemistry. "I have an idea," Kale said. "It's going to be loud. And you might want to stand back." Valerius retreated a few dozen paces, his expression unreadable. He trusted Kale's abilities, but he trusted his own instincts more. If this failed, he had his own escape routes. Kale took a deep breath. He released the stored kinetic energy, not as a chaotic blast, but as a focused, concussive beam directed at the wall 3 meters to the left of the bomb. The impact was silent and absolute. A shockwave shot through the station's superstructure, traveling faster than sound. It hit the bomb's housing not from the front, but from the side, a lateral shear force the device was never designed to withstand. The pressure plate flickered. The delicate liquid explosive inside the core sloshed, disturbed but not detonated. The bomb's internal computer, designed to detect a frontal assault or a power cut, was utterly confused by the lateral vibrational assault. For a fraction of a second, its logic looped. That was all Kale needed. In that moment of confusion, he channeled a second, smaller burst of kinetic energy directly into the bomb's power cell. It wasn't an overload, it was a drain. He siphoned the charge, pulling the electricity out of the device faster than it could discharge. The lights on the bomb's casing flickered and died. The trigger was now a useless piece of metal, the explosive core inert without the charge to ignite it. Silence. Kale lowered his hands, sweat beading on his forehead. The sheer precision had pushed him to his absolute limit. "It's done. The trap is disarmed." Valerius walked forward, straightened his tie, and placed his own hand on the blast door controls. The door hissed open, revealing the stunned faces of their would-be ambushers on the other side. They were expecting carnage, not a calm, collected syndicate boss and his very large, very intact bodyguard. "Gentlemen," Valerius said, a predatory smile spreading across his face. "I believe we have some business to discuss. But first, let's talk about your failure to provide a safe working environment." He stepped into the room, his confidence radiating like a weapon. The trap was not just disarmed, it was turned against its creators. Kale had not just saved him, he had delivered him his enemies on a silver platter. The day was not just saved, it was won.